Hey, and good afternoon. Welcome to Agri-Talk. This is a show where we feature stuff about agriculture, things that might help farmers, and different things in the area of Southeast Ohio. Today's a little bit different, not necessarily agriculture related, but agriculture is a business.
Yes, it is. It is a business, and there's farmers today. You've got to be able to buy, sell, make that profit, and you probably used to a long time ago. There was more. It was just a farmer. You didn't really think of it as a business in that sense. To where more nowadays you have to do that.
Right. And there's more of a science to it now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think you're right. More of a science, and today we're going to talk about more of that business side of the agriculture, like how do you make that profit, and what do you have to put into that business to make that money? Because sometimes it's not a full-time farmer; it may be a half-time farmer, full-time job somewhere else in town or wherever it may be. So they're trying to convert that.
Just like any business, you may be good at what you do.
Yep.
Being a farmer, myself, videography.
Yep.
But you may not know the business side.
You may not. Yeah.
You might have to enlist the help of someone.
Right, and there's small business counselors out there today that are free, and at the university, at the South Centers, we have a small business development center. And today we brought Chris Smalley on to talk about that. So,
okay.
Sounds
like an introduction to me.
Sounds like a good introduction for there. So, welcome, Chris. Can you tell us a little bit about you? Maybe
Sure.
What's your title? How long you been with the center? Start out with things like that.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So, my name's Chris Smalley. I'm a business development specialist at the Ohio State University South Centers. We work under the umbrella of the Small Business Development Center in Ohio. And my background, I guess you could say, is I grew up on a small farm, family farm, just as you were saying, Duane, and my parents had a retail store in town and have been now in the retail business over 35 years. So I've always enjoyed entrepreneurship, always enjoyed business. And so I went to Ohio State and majored in agricultural business and ag communications. And that's kind of what drove me to do what I do today. I was a lender for a short time, about 3 years, for a well-known company, Farm Credit Services of Mid-America, which is the largest rural lender in the nation. And so I worked for 3 years of my life right out of college with just what you were speaking of, those farmers that are trying to make it, and helped lend them money for whether it was buying property to raise their crops on, or building a barn to raise their animals in, or what have you, everything in between. And the majority of those farmers, you had a couple, just a handful around this area that are full-time farmers. A lot of them are, make their W-2 income and then come home and continue working until the sun goes down and beyond. So that's, I work from people that want to start a garage to someone that's got a technology company to a farmer to the SBDC works with everyone, but I'm more, I guess, the agricultural side of things. Anyone that has an ag background and wants to have a farm of some kind, they usually come to me if they need some financial assistance or whatever assistance that may be, marketing or what have you. So
now when you say that, Chris, how do I find you? And two, is this your counseling, is it going to cost me money?
Doesn't cost you a thing. Your taxes pay for it. We have several different funding sources at the SBDC, but you don't have to worry about that. You can call our center, would probably be the easiest way, and set up an appointment. We cover at this SBDC at Region 7, we cover 10 counties in southern Ohio, ranging from Brown County clear over to Gallia, and some of our programs even up the the east side of Ohio.
So do you drive those 10 counties?
Absolutely, we'll
Or-
come right to you. We have an agreement relationship with most of our economic developments and Chamber of Commerce in each of the counties that we cover. So we try to meet at that location. If we need to come out to your farm or to your business, we'll do that as well. So whatever it
That's
takes, we help to make it as easy as we can on you, the business owner, because we know that a day away from your business is more like 2 or 3 days away because you're catching up. So
Right.
if we can come to you and save you some road time, we're happy to do that.
Now, in your all your degrees, you said I think agriculture communications. What is that?
So a lot of
It's not
writing.
talking to the animals, right?
No, it's a lot of writing. It's more a communications degree with an agricultural backing, with an agricultural
emphasis
field,
on agriculture.
An emphasis on agriculture, yes. So, the being able to communicate and have those public relations type classes and backing, that's more what the communications side of things I think would be. So
Do farmers get into marketing very much?
absolutely. I mean, you have to market whatever you're raising. Like I say, whether it's the crops, whether it's an animal. If it's an animal, you're selling them down at producers or union stockyards. If it's crops, you're obviously taking them to the grain elevator. If it's hay, you might be getting on social media or create a website to sell hay. I know I was just talking to one of my friends that has a couple horses and actually does some horse trading and showing and whatnot, and they were talking last night on Facebook, believe it or not, of how all this rain that Southern Ohio has gotten this year, it's really going to affect not only our row crops, but also the hay production this year, because the farmers are not able to get into the fields and make hay, and so hay prices they're predicting will skyrocket.
Don't
this
they
winter.
say make hay when the sun shines?
That's right, exactly.
It hasn't been
It hasn't
shining.
been
No,
shining.
no
That's
shining,
right.
yeah.
So they're predicting those prices are going to go up, and they're already trying to, obviously make plans, buy ahead, what have you, to get that done. And they go to social media and doing that and share, all their friends and see who has the best deals. So I would absolutely call that marketing.
Now, Chris, you said about marketing. Obviously, that takes money and things like that. So, can I come to you and you figure out a way to give me money? How does that work? I hear this all the time that there's grants galore out there and everything's free. But let's try to put that in perspective. Is that really true?
It's like that guy in the Washington
Yeah,
insider guy.
yeah,
It's
the guy with the
there's
green
money
suit with
if
the
you
dollar
ask
signs
for
on it.
it, right.
Yeah. So
I guess I don't want to go on record of saying there aren't any grants.
right, yeah,
But
there is some.
There
but
are grants.
But they're just not laying out there
Right.
for handfuls and handfuls of them.
A couple rules of thumb that I do tell my clients: if there were grants available just for everybody to take advantage of, we would know about it, one. And two, you'd probably know about it too, because like I was just saying, social media has kind of taken over, and
Yeah.
somebody's going to share that.
Right.
For a startup business, there's a lot of talk out there. People will come to me and say, hey, is there a grant available for me to start my business? I really haven't been able to find something specifically that I need $100,000. I'm going to go get a $100,000 grant to start this business. Now, there are different programs available, especially on the agricultural side of things. One of those being, as I have on my notes here, through the SOA-CDF, the Southern Ohio Agricultural Community Development and Foundation. They have economic development loans, very low interest loans, economic development grants, as well as their tobacco diversification program that is absolutely a grant. It's a one-to-one. So
What's tobacco diversification?
Yeah.
So this is kind of the tobacco belt here in Ohio,
Right.
and then obviously down in Kentucky. When the tobacco buyouts came through several years ago, farmers that relied on tobacco production for a major part of their income had to diversify their ag program.
You mean grow different things?
Grow different things,
Okay.
do something different. And so this program that was federally created to help them do that. And there's not, to my knowledge, money added to that every year like it used to be. That's kind of been cut off. And so now they're just working off of what little bit of interest there is from other programs. And it's not going to be around forever, but it is a very good program right now. And in fact, right now we're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of that SOA-CDF season, which is 2 months, the months of July and August, that anyone that lives on a property, you didn't have to raise tobacco necessarily, but if you purchased a property that had a tobacco base, and that can be found out at your local FSA office, if it had a tobacco base on it at any time, you're eligible. They also have a very cool program, and I'll give you the website here in a minute. They also have a very neat program that is a young farmer grant. So if you are I believe it's up to 35, but there might not even be a cutoff. It changes every year. There may not even be a cutoff. It might just be like a beginning farmer grant to kind of help you get that boost to get going. That also is a grant. Now, how those work, like I was saying, it's a one-to-one. It's up to $25,000 to your $25,000 that you throw in the bucket as well.
So you have to match that.
Some people go and they get a $25,000 loan. Some people have $25,000 sitting in the bank. Either way is perfectly fine. But as part of that program, we help you develop a business plan, develop financial projections to show how this grant and how this program that you're diversifying, your old program, how it's going to help you make money eventually and essentially give back to your community. So it's a great program. It's very, very good for that sector. It would be awesome if we had that for all startups, but I just haven't found that one yet.
Interesting.
So the services you have business planning services. How would someone use that?
Yeah, so usually if you need to go and borrow from a bank, like I said, I was a former lender. I've read through many business plans and financial projections, and I've seen good ones, I've seen bad ones, I've seen ones that just need a little bit of polishing. So we help you do that. You know, the business owner knows their business better than anyone.
Do a lot of people come in without a business plan?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of the time they'll come in after they've gone and talked to the lender, and the lender says, I need a business plan, so then they come to see us.
Going, what's that?
Exactly.
Yeah, what is a business plan?
And so what we have is a model. It's a Microsoft Word model that we have created some questions, and it's a lot of fill in the blank, and it gets your brain thinking in that business mind. And
Income, outgoing,
exactly,
and all that
exactly.
kind of stuff.
How are you going to market your product? What's your experience? Who's going to be in charge of HR? I mean, it talks about everything. The 3 phases of business are money, marketing, and management. Again, I repeat myself a lot in our discussions earlier. No one business owner can do all 3 very well. Usually, a business owner has one that they do very well, another that they're okay at, and then the third one they forget about. I myself have my own business, and I can admit, even though I was a lender, I hate the numbers side of things.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that I hate the money. I hate reporting. I hate keeping track. I hate billing. It's no fun. I like to get out and do what I do and market what I do.
Sure.
I like talking to people about what I can do, and so it works for me very well. And I leave the financials part and all the numbers part, I leave that for someone else to do. You know, sometimes that would be an accountant, sometimes it might be a spouse, some of the best businesses, believe it or not, are husband and wives because they feed off of one another and they make that business work smoothly because, like I said, the one can take care of what the other one's not good at and vice versa.
Right.
So
That's kind of how we do it.
yeah,
I bring in the fat stacks and she counts
there
it.
you go. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
So I don't know. I got off on a tangent a little bit. I don't now remember what
Business
your-
planning
The
services.
business
plan.
planning. So, so when they come to us, we help them kind of go down through that word model and let them take it. We let them, take it home with them. We send it to them via email or what have you. They'll fill it out. If they don't have a computer, I'll print a hard copy out. They can take it home, do it in longhand, bring it back in, and we'll type it up for you.
And this is a good thing to do definitely before you go to the bank,
Absolutely.
so you don't look
Yep.
stupid.
And it's
then
okay
two,
sometimes to go to the bank and check what they need because they're going to need 3 years tax returns. They're going to need 3 years projections, which I can help you do. It's a lot easier when you are buying a business rather than creating a business from scratch because if you're buying a business, there's historical numbers. I met with one today. There's historical numbers.
and this is how I'm going to do
The
it better.
gentleman, exactly. The gentleman had what the business was making, and 3 years history, and even 5 years history is great. That's wonderful for a bank to look at. And then, like you said, how are you going to do it differently? How are you going to cut the fat? What are you going to do to change that bottom line? And that then helps that bank make a educated decision on whether or not they're going to lend you money or not. The other major part of lending these days is collateral. We have found when I was a lender, we would give things out that were called a pre-approval, a soft approval on, or someone would come in and say, "How much can I borrow?" They don't do that anymore. Okay, they'll give, if someone comes in and they have a contract to buy something, whether it be real estate or equipment or what have you, they'll do an appraisal and they'll see what comparable sales are on that land or on that building or what have you, and if it's lower than the purchase price, guess who's got to come up with the difference? You. And so that's the biggest thing that we're dealing with these days. I think collateral values. I've talked to several appraisers in our area, and collateral values of land and buildings and things are doing better. We're on the upswing, I think.
Yeah.
But there for a while it was tough to get stuff sold and bought because there just weren't any comp sales out there. But they'll do a collateral approval and they'll do a credit approval. So they're going to look at your credit. They're going to look at the business plan and the financial projections that you have done. And if it doesn't work, it might be the best deal in the world, but that bank might just not like your credit, is what it may come down to. So that's a major part, credit and collateral, when it comes to lending.
And the other thing I was going to say about doing this business plan ahead of time, you may just put yourself out of business before you even start, because you put the numbers down and it's like, well, these numbers aren't going to work.
Right. We
And
find
I
that
can't
a lot.
figure it out.
Sometimes it just takes that. It just takes an hour or two of sitting down, throwing what numbers into our financial projections model that we have.
And try not to be too optimistic.
And you let that client decide for themselves. I'm not going to tell you to do one thing or another.
I got a great idea. I'm going to open a pizza place.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, if there's already 12 pizza places in town, it might do fine because the 1 through 12 are already doing great.
Yeah.
But we get that a lot. We get a lot of coffee shops. But we're getting ready to open one right now in one of the counties we cover. So it just depends
if it's
on
the right
what you're doing.
location, the
Exactly.
idea, and all that.
Exactly. So another important part is you sometimes have to get creative when it comes to borrowing. The bank might say, yeah, we'll do it, but we're only going to lend 70% the appraised value. So where are you going to come up with the other 30%? Well, there's such things out there called gap funders, okay? And what that means is they help bridge that gap, that 30% gap that the bank created. Okay, so the bank's going to do the major part. A gap funder will come in and they will borrow, they'll do a second lien position behind the bank. So the bank has first lien position. If something were to go bad, the bank gets it, gets their cut, and then this gap funder, which is usually a government-backed program, will do that. In our area, we have the Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission, who is kind of our primary gap funder, go-to gap funder. But there's also Pike Community Action, couple economic development places in different counties that we cover have gap funding sources. There's a couple local funds that can help with that. So usually what those are, it's not free money, it's still a loan, but it's usually lesser interest or the same interest of what the bank's going to charge you is usually what those places will do.
And they won't do the whole amount.
Not normally. You usually, you have to have a first lien position bank approved because that's part of their approval process. Their board comes together and they say, well, if so-and-so bank, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us, type of thing. And then you may still have to come up with 10% or something of your own cash money. We find that a lot. Like what's
depending on what that gap is.
What's the business owner bringing to the table? What do they have to lose? So you may have to offer some more collateral. There's all kinds of different,
That's good to hear.
ifs.
I was afraid I'd have to be a gigolo or something.
Yeah.
to make-
Yeah, you never know what you have to do to make up that extra bit.
That's
Right.
right. That's right. So that's what we can help you kind of sit down, see the whole picture, and see which direction is best to go for you.
So I got a question. We talked about starting a business. Do you do anything with existing
Absolutely.
businesses?
Yeah.
And what can you do with existing businesses? Say maybe they're struggling, or
Sure.
or what do you do with that?
So a lot of the things I have in the past most recently done are helping them with marketing, developing a website, helping them get online, open their market even more than just in the town that they're in.
Because I myself find myself working too hard on projects to get out to do the marketing part of it.
Yep. And it is. We've got people on our staff that are very good at that. There's actually programs available that you can create your business or your website free of charge. So if you're not online, maybe the freebie for the day, get online. Call us and we'll help you get online, because I promise you, with my own business especially, we've doubled our business every single year because our online presence. Nothing against Yellow Pages, it's good for the local market. People don't use it anymore.
I'm not sure when the last time I picked up a Yellow Page.
People just don't use it anymore. People go to Google or Bing or whatever your search engine is and type in whatever they're looking for.
Right.
And depending on where you are in terms of your business name, that's something else we help you with. If you're starting a business or you want to start, establish an LLC with your business, we can help you with the Ohio Secretary of State and getting that done. Anything with business, if it's new business, if it's existing business, we can help you. We've got programs available. We've got sessions that we hold at our center. We have relationships with our local extension offices. So there's a lot of, it's being under the OSU, the Ohio State University umbrella, really helps us to have a stronghold on a lot of different things to help you out.
You just mentioned it quickly there, I think, upcoming trainings.
Training, yeah. I was about ready to mention that.
Yep.
So you do training?
We absolutely have trainings. I'm not in charge of those, but it seems like we're having one about every other week on just different things. I know we had an Affordable Care Act one just yesterday. That's something on the top of everyone's on the top of everyone's list. So I would maybe if we can share our website and people can go to that and see what kind of trainings that we have. I don't know if we do that on the.
I don't know if we'll pop that up, but
No.
it's southcenters.osu.edu, and then just click on the business
on
tab.
the business tab, and it'll
the
show
top.
you the programs and different things.
And they're
that we
free of
have.
charge, or do you have to pay for them?
Sometimes you have to pay just to cover lunch or what have you, but
Could be just registration fee.
yeah,
and they're
registration
typically
fee or
small,
very small fee,
small fees,
15
nothing,
or
yeah.
nothing major.
So not like $200 or $300.
No,
Right.
No.
Okay.
So
And-
again, that's South Centers at
Nope.
not
Southcenters
at-
dot
OSU.edu. South Centers.
Southcenters.osu.edu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He was trying to give out his email address.
Yeah, I
That's
was
what he
trying
doing.
to get you everybody to
Getting that
email
out.
me.
Yeah. So, but even at that, social media is a huge part of that
It
marketing
is.
too, not just a website. So we've got that people have at the center. We have people there that can help with that too, right?
Absolutely. Oh
So-
yeah, the Facebook side of things, Twitter side of things. We have one person dedicated to doing all that, and she stays busy. So, yeah, it's like I say, if any business question you have, call us 740-289.
2071.
2071. I don't call.
He never calls you. It's like your own number.
Yeah,
You never
Right.
remember your own number, but yeah, absolutely. It's at 289 something.
289-2071. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll get you set up with an appointment.
That's right. Absolutely.
Now,
That,
you cover just this area.
Yeah, I
Now,
cover-
do we have other business, or is it just you?
No, it's not just me. We have, I don't know, 3 or 4 other business counselors. I personally cover Jackson County, Vinton County, Ross County, and Highland County. You look at that on a map and you say, wow.
That's a big area.
But
Yeah.
I don't mind traveling. Usually I'm on the road every day, and then I'm in the office on Fridays. But like we said, call us. One of our office associates would be happy to set you up with the
Get you in the
right
right person.
counselor that sets you in the right direction, and go from there.
Awesome. Chris, I appreciate you being online.
Not a problem. Thanks for having us.
All right, buddy. And I think we're just about out of time, right, Mike?
About
So
a minute or
yeah,
so.
about a minute to go. So if there's anything else that you need business-wise that Chris can help you with, again, the web address is southcenters.osu.edu, and give him a ring on the phone there at 740-289-2071, and they'll get you all lined up with.
I
start a
think
new
you can.
business.
You see from our conversation, there's a lot of good information that can be had for very little or no money at all.
Exactly.
And this can only do it nothing but make you more money.
Right, and those are just specialists that know just exactly how to do that, rather than just calling up a family member and going, "How do we start that?"
Right.
Well, I don't know. Let's just sit down and gab, figure it out. So we call Chris up and get it started for us. So,
Right. So help is out there if you need it, and feel free to call them. They gave out the contact info. And once again, thanks for watching Agri-Talk, and you will see us. What is this? Is this the third Wednesday
Third Wednesday, yes.
of every month at 2 o'clock? So we'll see you then.